Sit with me. Sit with me. Please. I love you now. Thank you. Will you sit? Is it comfortable? Is it comfortable? Can they see you? Can they see you? They can't see your face. Your face is here. How will they see your face? Yeah, show them face. Say hi, Tima. Hi. Okay. Shall we keep it here then? Oh, big yawn. Big yawn. You sit here with me? Okay, chalo. बैठ गया ना तुम? I don't think this is a great angle, but for Tima, we'll make it work. What do you think? What do you think? Okay. Can I give Chrissy? Okay. So, shall we start? Shall we start this vlog, baby? So today the guest on my vlog is Timiki Baby. This is Timiki Baby and his name is Timiki Baby. But I think he's gotten used to Tima more than Timiki. Right? Look at his claws. You're trying to hold on to the glass but you can't, no? Can't help you in that case, Baba. He doesn't really want to sit with me. He's really restless and his... Okay, yeah, I'm talking about you. And his tail is wagging all over the place. But because he's a gentle boy and I brought this gentle boy here, he's willingly sat with me. Reluctantly sat with me, actually. Sorry, yeah? But thanks for coming. Now let's set the camera up in a way that people can see you and me. Okay, anyway. Tima has decided to sit here, which is not in the camera frame, and I can't help it. So this is going to be a vlog with just his tail as a guest. Thank you, Tima, for the illustration. So this is going to be the vlog about my goals for the month. It's already the 1st of October actually, but even though I didn't make a vlog about it yet, I have already followed some of the goals that I have set for this month, and I have a good feeling about this month. But I usually have a good feeling about every month on the 1st. Then we saw what happened with July and my finger. Then we saw what happened with August and Thane. And September was just bullshit. I had all the reason to do everything, but I didn't do anything. Anyway, we're not gonna dwell on our regrets. We're gonna work on this coming month, and we're gonna work on. Come this side, na thoda, so you can also be in it. Yeah. So we're gonna talk about our goals for October, and obviously like the to-do list hole that I am. Oh my god, he's being so cute right now. How do I show you us and him? Me and him, sorry. This is better. So yeah, like the to-do list hole that I am, I have a to-do list for the entire, not a to-do list, it's a list of my goals for the entire month of October. Let's take you through it. So oh no, he's captured my arm. The first one, hello, excuse me, bro, you're a guest in my vlog. You are not the vlog. Asshole. That was funny, but okay, let me find another angle now because this motherfucker has taken up my... Is this better? At least there's half a face. Or maybe we can make it like this. I hope you can hear me though. The mic is on that side, not on this side, which is closer to my face. Excuse me. Anyway, so the first goal, let's get right into it, is to exercise/eat clean. I have included it in the same thing because they both lead to the eventual same goal. And like I used to exercise every day in the first 3 months of lockdown, I am going to begin that again. I exercised half of March, April, May, June, 3.5 months. Big fucking deal. And recently I just watched my old vlog in which I had myself up about exercising before the finger thing ever happened, and that kind of did it worked. It motivated me, and I was like, yes, 1st of October se karenge shuru, and I lived up to it. I went for a walk today. It was just a mild walk. I didn't want to start anything intense today after having like 3 months of no activity. So I wanted to start slow, and I also have this really bad pain in my shoulder area, in my shoulders. I don't know why they really ache. Um, so I decided not to do anything too intense to avoid injuring anything. So yeah, I went for a 90-minute walk. It was on my terrace and it was brilliant. But even though I walked for like 90 whole minutes, they were only about 5,000 steps. So, I didn't even do 10,000 steps. But it's okay, we're gonna start small. It's about ticking the boxes this time, not about the level of intensity or anything. So, yeah, the first goal is exercise and eat clean. I also ate clean today. I didn't eat any junk, which has been rare these past few months that I've not eaten junk, because every evening I feel super hungry and I've been binging on toast and cheese, and I usually can never stop at look at this little tortoise bum. I can never stop at one slice of bread, because I never finish one whole cube of cheese with that. So I keep trying to finish the cube of cheese with more bread, and then it's just a never-ending cycle, and I end up eating 4 or 5 slices, which is crazy, isn't it, Tima? So yeah, no binging in the evenings. I could eat a healthy snack, but honestly, I don't know what a healthy snack is. It's probably fruit, and I don't like eating fruit, so I'm not gonna get fruit. I'm just going to go up to the terrace at 7 o'clock, which is when I start to feel hungry, and I'm going to exercise and come back by 9:30, which is the time that auntie gives. What the fuck are you doing, bro? Which is the time that auntie gives dinner anyway. So that's what I used to do in the earlier months, so that I didn't have to binge eat. So yeah, I'm gonna do that now. Cats are so weird. They make themselves comfortable anywhere. I know he's not comfortable here. He's just sitting here because I brought him here, and he wants to be close to me. Yeah. So that's the first goal. Do I have anything else to say about it before I? No. That's going to be it. Oh yeah. So remember the calendar that I had, my Canva calendar that I had made at the beginning of lockdown. I've started making that again and updating it. So yeah, I'm gonna start updating that regularly as well, to ensure that I follow my exercise thingy every day at least. The second thing on here, I'm going to lay this on Timothy if possible. So the second thing on here is a Copper Boom. I really want to get back to doing the shop, not just because I miss it, I really do miss it, but also because I really need the money. Okay, this boy doesn't like that. Because I really need the money now. It's crucial, more than ever. I have to start finding a way to make some money. Obviously, it's not a lot. It's never going to match up the kind of money that I made with a full-time job, but it's going to be something. And I need something more than my regular FMC income that goes above my rent. But yeah, that kind of, every time I think about it, it kind of makes me very nervous, anxious, and it's quite depressing to think about. So I don't think about it a lot. And I've been kind of living this out of sight, out of mind kind of lifestyle for the past couple of months. I've started, like in the first 3-4 months, I wasn't spending money at all, but the last 2 months, I've kind of been spending on shit, buying stuff from thrift stores, eating out, ordering food in just randomly. So yeah, not gonna do that. Just going to work on work on Copper Boom. It's a bit difficult right now, especially with not being able to meet my friends to shoot with them. So yeah, I have to find alternatives, which is also kind of a motivator for me to lose weight. The only reason I don't shoot on myself is because I really don't like myself on camera, and I've realized that this wasn't the case before, when I had a good um, feeling about my body, when I had a good image of the way I looked. But since I've gotten this bad body, no body positivity about my own body, if that makes sense. I've not liked being in front of the camera for pictures, videos, or anything. So yeah, I guess becoming fit, becoming thinner, liking what I see in the mirror is crucial to me ever being able to model for the shop. And if I nail that, I will truly be self-sufficient and I won't need to depend on anyone else. And I really want that because I don't feel nice having to ask my friends for help all the time. Especially when I'm doing this because I really need the money, then it feels wrong to not pay them for their work, you know. So it's always been a conflict in my head, and I'm so glad that I have Natasha and Anisha who are just always willing to help me out without ever expecting me to pay them and stuff. But yeah, if at some point I can become truly self-sufficient, then that would be the best. But in the meantime, I am doing shoots with Nattu, which I'm very grateful to have, and I'm going to do a few hanger pictures as well, even though I really don't like hanger pictures. But there are sometimes some items which are good enough to not need a model. And I've been studying other shops and the way they function. Like there are a few shops that are run by guys who sell women's clothes. There's Mirren One, there's this shop called Bygone Echoes and stuff. And they only sell stuff on hangers. They don't do models at all. And their stuff is still selling. It's not bad. That's my green tea. See, I'm trying to live a very healthy lifestyle. That's my second green tea of the day. The same bag though, because I don't like strong green tea. Um, so yeah, I don't think it's undoable. I don't think having a hanger shop is not acceptable. It's just not the kind of way I want to run the shop. You know, I do this because I enjoy it. So I want to do it in a way that's creatively and aesthetically uh, fulfilling, if that makes sense. So yeah, modeling my clothes on people is one of the and shooting that, taking pictures. I really enjoy that part of the process. I enjoy having my customers see the worth of a product on someone. It just increases the value. You know, I feel like I can charge a lot more when an item is styled on someone than I can charge when it's not styled on someone because then the person doesn't have a vision of how it can be worn. So yeah, there's that. That's an obstacle that has been there for the past couple of months now, and I was completely okay with not running the shop till now because it just so many things were in the way, and I was focusing on exercise and I was focusing on other things, so it felt okay. But now I finally feel like this month I've reached a point where I've put a lot of things behind me. Like I've put going to Thane is out of the way, cleaning my house is kind of out of the way. There's still a little bit left, but not enough to stall me. I was doing Malvika's those CV assignments. I've put them out of the way now. I've taken a proper break from them. I've told them I can't do it anymore because I realized that every time an assignment came by and I had a deadline, I would leave everything else for the day and I'd focus only on that, you know. And even though it feels like it's only a 2 hour, 3 hour job, it would still take away some of the most precious time of my day, precious, to focus on something else. So yeah, I didn't want that, so I've taken a break, and I because I'm not getting that income, it's pushing me more to kind of, you know, not slack and make sure I find the income in another way, for which I've taken a break. So yeah, wow, that's a long rant about Copper Boom, but I'm not done yet. Along with shoots and getting back to posting stuff, I also want to think of new ways to package my items. Not new ways to package it. I've found a sustainable way of doing packaging, which I'm glad about. But I want to make it cuter. All these thrift stores now are really upping their game with how they package stuff, and I really want to do a good job on that as well because I actually enjoy that part. And like I said, this whole shop, this whole process is really enjoyable for me. I want to make the most out of it creatively. And since I started painting in like April or whatever, since the beginning of lockdown, painting, you know, random shit, I've realized I really have come to enjoy it and I don't want to stop. And the little roses that I had sent out, paintings that sent out with my previous packages, they were received really well. So I'm gonna start doing that again. So I've already done one shoot with Nattu, but I can't do the drop until I have all my packaging necessities in place. So yeah, I'm gonna have to start painting sometime this week, and yeah, make as many as the items as I drop. So if I'm dropping 30 items, I have to make 30 paintings to go with each thing. So yeah, that takes a little bit of time to do. So I have to plan my time accordingly. That was a loud cat, wasn't it? Who was it? He gave up caring. I don't care who's meowing because you are safe here, ना. तेरे को क्या पड़ा है? पड़ी है. तेरे को क्या पड़ी है? तेरे को बस सोना है ना. तेरे को बस सोना है ना. See, his eye thing hasn't gone yet, but now he's so cautious about me touching his eye. He knows what I'm gonna do. So he doesn't open it only. He doesn't open it only. I will put it before you realize what I'm doing. The fuck is happening? Oh fuck. Okay, I'm back after that tiny little non-drama. He's back and he's sitting here. The third thing on my list is no spend October. It would have sounded better as no spend November, but I have no money to wait till November, you see. So this month I'm going to spend by not spending. I mean to say that I'm not going to spend on anything this month, unless it's of course essentials and supplies and stuff. I can't deny that. But even in that area, if I can avoid something, I will avoid it. So yeah, I'm trying this because I've been spending a lot for the past 2 months. Like I said earlier, I won't repeat that again. I just want to try to do 1 month where I do not shop for anything I don't need. So I'm not going to buy any. That's me. Relax. I'm not going to buy any thrift store items, no matter how badly I want it. I've realized that no matter how badly I want something, once I receive it, I'm not that satisfied with it. You know, it's always the in the moment thing of oh, I really want that, and it's probably going to go in a few seconds, so I better catch it while I can, kind of attitude. And yeah, I don't need that. I don't need any more clothes in my life. I have realized this past 1 month has been a rude shock in terms of how little space I have in this house and how much shit I've been holding and collecting. So yeah, this month not gonna spend, no buying clothes, no eating out, no ordering takeout. Sometimes maybe rarely if I really want a cheat meal, because only to reward myself if I've done a good job, not otherwise, will I buy ice cream. And I will not buy an entire tub. That is not okay. If I really want to treat myself for some good work, I will buy a cup or I will buy a cone, because that's it. There's no scope of eating it for 5 meals. So yeah, no spend 1 month. Let's see how that goes. I really hope it goes well. I hope I can manage. There have been a couple of things I've really wanted to buy this past few weeks. One thing is I really need new glasses. It's not that I want to buy them. You can see they're all rusted, you know. I've had these since October of 2018, so I've had them for 2 years, and usually at the end of 2 years I do change my frames. But yeah, I don't, so I can say I don't really need them because my number hasn't changed, and I know that because my head doesn't ache and I can see everything very very clearly, so that's not an issue. I do have the glasses that I need, and I think, touchwood, my number has been the same for a few years now. And they do say that once you reach proper adulthood, your number kind of stabilizes and it doesn't fluctuate after that. So yeah, my number might be the same, which is a good thing because then I don't need new glasses. But I'll still have to get new glasses because they'll have to be shaped for a new frame. So it's the same thing basically. I was wondering if I could just take out the glass and kind of acrylic paint the frames, even though that might look a bit, I don't know, it might end up looking a bit childish or amateur if it doesn't paint over it properly. Anyway, it's lockdown, so who gives a shit that my glasses are rusty? Nobody's looking at me, you know. So that's one thing I've really wanted to buy. The second thing I've really wanted to buy, and I'm feeling a little obsessed with the idea, is an embroidery machine. Sorry, a sewing machine. One of those, you know, not the entire thing, like how they used to have before. Like my mom used to have, we used to have that machine for a very long time, but she used to have that machine that came as a table, like it came like an entire, I don't know what it's called, but it was a machine on top, it was a table, and underneath it was a space where you put your legs and you did it, and it was also like a cupboard. Very vintage, very retro, old school thing. My mom had it because she used to do a lot of tailoring, I guess, back then. Uh, and I remember this, it's very fresh from my childhood actually. I remember exactly the shape it was, the color it was. I remember the sound of the door closing, the shelves on the door, all of it, all of it. And we had it for so many years, and we used to put so much trash in it because after a point she stopped sewing, and then the sewing machine was elsewhere, and only the table was there. Anyway, I've been feeling like doing embroidery because I've been seeing a lot of vloggers, especially Ashley from Best Dressed, who's currently my favorite vlogger, thanks to Nattu. She's been doing a lot of upcycling of her old clothes. Like she'll buy an item and then she'll sew it in a way that it's a completely new item. And I've been really wanting to do that, even though I don't think I can be skilled enough to actually stitch clothes. I don't think I have that kind of precision or discipline, or you need really delicate fingers and hands and a lot of patience, and I don't think I have that. Anyway, I really want to buy one anyway and experiment and just embroider things in my house, just like make pillowcases and cute pillowcases and stuff. I want to do that kind of stuff. But they're really expensive. Like if I wanted to, I think the cheapest one is about 5K. And if I wanted to invest in a good one, which might be a little more advanced, it's 10K. I don't have that kind of money. So yeah, that's the second thing I wanted to buy. And the third thing I was just this week that struck me that it might be a good idea was a washing machine, because we don't have a maid right now and we're not going to for a long time. I have a feeling. It's really difficult to wash our clothes the old school style with a bucket, even though there isn't that much to wash because we're not going anywhere, right? So it's only the home clothes, but it's still a little troubling, especially with my back. Especially with my back, it's difficult for me to bend over. I always get a bad backache for like half a day, once the day I do laundry, so it kind of puts me off of doing it at all. That's the only reason, convenience. It's not that the clothes aren't getting washed properly or whatever. It doesn't. I hardly put any effort into it. For me, if the soap and the water touches the garment for like 2 hours, I'm fine. That's enough for me. I don't care about how well it's cleaned, especially because it's fucking home clothes. I don't give a shit. I was thinking, should we invest in a second-hand shopping washing machine? But even that's like 7,000, 8,000 bucks. Even though it'll be divided with her, I don't have the money right now. Plus, it would also be really helpful for me with Copper Boom, because I have to wash these clothes before I dispatch them now with all these extra sanitation rules that have come in place and stuff. I want to be careful about these, and it's so difficult to hand wash them. So difficult. But I can't. If I had to do order of priority, what I need to shop for or what I could save up for, it would be embroidery machine, washing machine, and then new glasses, even though new glasses is the cheapest. I think I'll just buy the new glasses once lockdown is lifted and we can all go out again, because then it'll be more durable. Like then I'll have it 2 years from then, not 2 years from now. So yeah, not gonna spend in October. I will save. Maybe, actually, I'm kind of glad that I can't buy the sewing machine right now, because it would really be an impulse purchase. I really do want to do stuff, and I have been wanting it for about a week and a half or two by now. But these kinds of things can also really disappear really quickly. Like I can lose my interest really quickly. So yeah, I'm glad that I can't buy it right now, so that I can take a month or two to think about it. If by the end of month 1 and month 2 I still want it, I'll actively start saving up for it. I'll take on the interview interview nahi, CV job again. And yeah, it's not that difficult to get 7,000 over 2 months. So I'll I'll do that. But yeah, for now, this was supposed to be a short video. I only finished point 3 and I have 8 points here and like 2 miscellaneous points because that's me and to-do lists. I have miscellaneous points also. Anyway, the fourth point is to get Timothy adopted, which we're not really sure about right now because we have no idea what is up with this guy. I don't know if he is going to be a cat that can be adopted because he's a very outdoor cat. He's not an indoor cat. He hates being indoors. He might stay indoors for a couple of days, like 2-3 days, and then he'll disappear for 2-3 days altogether, and only come back for a meal and then disappear all over again. And if we close the windows, he gets really impatient and restless and insecure. So yeah, he's not meant to be an outdoor cat, indoor cat. I know that for sure. Even if we get him adopted and relocated, he is going to jump out of their windows, which is really scary. So yeah, I really don't know what to do with him. I don't mind him being the kind of cat who comes home and we give him one meal a day or whatever, he comes to sleep and then he leaves, like Goldie. Goldie's not dependent on us for food or anything. So even if we don't feed her for an entire day, she's fine because she gets her food elsewhere. She knows how to go to the dumpsters. She has that old auntie who comes by rickshaw every day to give food. Priya auntie gives food sometimes. The other neighbors give her food as well. So she has her life set, just like every other street cat right now over here. Except for this guy. I don't know what his deal is. I'm not able to figure it out. I'm not able to trace his steps and find out whether he leaves the building or not. I need to do that. I need to find out if this guy knows how to walk around when it's not on the surface of a building. Anyway, so yeah, that was a point on my list of things for October, but I don't think I'm not actively looking for a home right now till I find out what his deal is, because I don't want him to go somewhere and then get lost in a absolutely strange locality where he won't survive. Even if he gets lost somewhere here, he might survive, but nowhere else. So yeah, that's on pause for now. Number 5 might actually be the most important on this list for this month is finish transcriptions. I can't finish them because there's like 36 and it takes me almost 2 days to finish one. So yeah, that's not going to happen. But I've written finish transcriptions because I want to aim for the best and see how many I can do. I actually started transcribing today, and I'm pretty glad that I started today, so that way I feel like the first of the month has been pretty productive. I didn't think I'd start today, but I'm glad that I did. So yeah, I'm gonna try my best to finish some of this month so that next month I can go back to doing my interview CV thingy also, so that's a little extra money as well. Number 6 is watch more intellectual movies or just intellectual movie learning thingies, like watch interviews or watch round tables and stuff like that. Basically anything that increases my knowledge about movies and keeps me relevant, keeps me relevant in the space or whatever that means. I just want to not stop learning just because I'm not working right now, because movies never take a break. Even in the pandemic, a lot of things are happening and I can't slack off and not be up to date about this. So yeah, I did watch a movie today, though it was not intellectual. It's called Rough Night. It was basically a what do you call it, like it was Bridesmaid with a murder mystery, or not a murder mystery, it was a murder cover-up. What are those called, where you kill someone and the entire movie is about hiding the body, basically. So yeah, it was that kind of movie. It was really stupid and silly and fun, but it made me realize that 2 hours, though it seems like a lot of time when you look at the duration of a film, but when you're actually watching it and by the time it ends, you realize 2 hours was not a big deal, and it did not interrupt your day and it did not spoil your day. So I need to realize that more often and just start playing movies with lunch and stuff. You know what made me watch that movie. They took away Shark Tank from Netflix. I feel like making an entire vlog outraging about it, but they took away Shark Tank, bro. I think their contract was only till like 30th of September 2020. Maybe they bought it for like a year or two or something, and their contract is over. And today, 1st of October, they just took it away. They just took it away. They only had 3 seasons, 7, 8, and 9. I finished 7 and 8, and I started season 9, which might have had about 20 episodes, just yesterday. And I was so happy because they gave the show a complete makeover. The set had a makeover. It looked really hi-fi. All the billionaires on the seats, no, I don't think they're billionaires, they're millionaires, whatever. All the sharks, basically, they all had a makeover as well. And I realized how controlled they are by the channel or the network that pushes their shows. Even as individuals, they don't have the right to wear whatever they want. They're styled very intentionally by somebody. So because they all had a makeover change, even the guys, they were all wearing different clothes, and it was like, it was almost like they wanted to make them more blingy and more fashionable. Like this, there was this lady that only used to wear dull blue and dull pink dresses the entire show before. But the other day she was wearing a gold and black, like thoda outrageous looking dress, and I was like, "Hey, your style couldn't have changed like this over a period of a couple of months. It could have, but I'm sure it hasn't, because everyone else was dressed differently." And they had their first Hispanic shark on the show. They're really not one for diversity. They usually only have one female shark, and they have only one black shark who came. He wasn't there in the first few seasons. I think he must have come in season 6 or 7. And now they got their first Hispanic shark. Then that's season 9, which took place in 2018. But in reality, they are actually making season 11 right now. So there are those many seasons. It's also interesting. You know why I also like it? It's because it kind of, I don't know, in a way it motivates me about Copper Boom also. Not that I will ever be on that scale. Not that I ever intend to also. But it's just interesting to see all these entrepreneurs, make their own business and like invent stuff. I'm not even doing that. Fuck, I'm just reselling someone else's stuff. But they are actually inventing things. They're going into factories and like producing stuff and like paying for machines that produce stuff. It's intense. It just makes me have a lot of respect for entrepreneurs. And just to see the kind of bizarre ideas that people come up with. To even think about how there is 11 seasons of items that people have thought of out of their head that didn't exist before. It's crazy. I love that part of the show, even though I hate the whole concept of billionaires and millionaires existing. But this show, they make it a point. I mean, I know it's not valid, but they kind of try to keep pushing down your throat that these are self-made millionaires, that they all came from really humble backgrounds, and that they all grew up in like a working class family, or like they were minorities, or they were immigrants, not minorities, immigrants, and they made it big. They make it a point to tell you that. That's the point of Shark Tank, to kind of promote people that have come from nothing to something, and not have, someone that just inherited a lot of money. They don't want to do that. That is one of the principles of the show. But I mean, no one becomes a millionaire without exploitation, so I know that that's been the case as well. But anyway, that's my guilty pleasure. That's why I also like watching America's Next Top Model, which promotes a really unhealthy body image, but I still like watching it. So yeah, I'm gonna have to deal with my own lack of principles, I guess. Is that it? What was I even fucking talking about? I was talking about watching more intellectual movies. Anyway, so I need to start watching more movies on Movie, basically. They give me 16 movies a month. I do not watch any of them. I really fucking should. That's like my movie education served to me on a platter, and I say, no thank you, I shall have the dessert only. You can't do that. You have to have lunch and dinner to deserve dessert. What do you think? He's stretching very cutely. So yeah, Going to try to watch more intellectual movies, more interviews, more knowledgeable stuff. Hope you've been able to hear me. This vlog is so long. It wasn't supposed to be this long. I'm sorry. The next thing on the thing is to sleep on time. Basically, to sleep enough. Because past month I've really taken my sleep cycle for granted. Stayed up talking to guys that I don't need to. I've stayed up cleaning my room, just randomly doing shit. I've let my sleep cycle really go to the dogs. And I am really gonna fix that this month. Um, what's the time right now? I'm pretty sure it's like 12:30, and I intended to sleep by 11:30, 12 max. But here we are making this extremely unnecessarily, excessively long vlog. So yeah, I like my hair today. Yeah. Oh, and yeah, shirt change because I had a bath. I had a bath yesterday and today. Can you believe it? 2 days in a row. It's kind of my, I want this month to be nice in every way possible. So I'm gonna try to have more baths, but it's not making it on my to-do list because I can never. It's already such a chore. If I put it on a list, I'm just not gonna want to do it. So it's just something that I'll mentally make a note of and try to do more often, but it's not going to be. Yeah, it's fine if I don't also. I'm gonna try to sleep on time, fix my sleep schedule because I've realized naturally I'm not able to work in the day because I don't sleep well. I feel extremely sleepy in the day. I take extra long naps. Even when I am working, I'm kind of like internally dozing and like I can't focus on anything and my eyes are, super dry and annoying. The light in this room is really bad. I'm sorry. So yeah, today actually I took a really long nap from like 11:30 till 1:30. I didn't intend to for it to be that long, but I decided to let myself take that nap because my body really needs to recover. And if I didn't take that nap, then the entire day I would be dozing. After the nap, I actually started working. I did my transcription and shit. So it wasn't all in vain. The next few days, I'll be a little easy on myself. If I really feel like taking a nap in the afternoon, I will. But I'm not going to make it a habit. Only until my sleep cycle is regulated again. Try to sleep by 12. Not even 1. I don't even want to sleep by 1. I want to sleep by 12 and I want to wake up at 8 o'clock again. I miss waking up at 8 o'clock. I used to like waking up that early. Green tea is disgusting when it's cold. It's disgusting even when it's warm, but it's tolerable. But cold, it's like medicine. Yeah. Sleep on time. Side note, by the way, cleaning my room is not on this list because I've almost finished doing it, except for my wardrobe, which I'll do slowly and steadily. It's not going to be an important task because it literally takes up all of my time. So I'll do it as and when I can. But my room finally has space to walk, and I finally gave Anisha back her big suitcase that was blocking my space in my room, and it feels so different. It like I can see my floor again, and it's empty, and I can walk in it, and it just feels like wow, is this my room? It feels like a different room. You know that feeling when you come back from a long stay, a long travel somewhere else, and you come back home and your own home feels weird to you, like my stranger's home, in a nice way though. So yeah, that feeling was happening today, and I was feeling so happy. Yeah, it's not completely clean. All the stuff basically from the floor is on my bed, but it's still progress because that means I've cleared out the bags. Most of my stuff is in my cupboard. Just need to organize thoda better, put stuff back on the cupboard and the loft, and I'll be fine soon. So that's my cleaning update. I'm not gonna have a cleaning vlog for a while, except for one which I made that day and I didn't upload because टिमिकी के साथ बहुत ड्रामा हुआ था, तो मैं भूल गई थी तभी अपलोड करने के लिए. But I'm going to upload it after this video. Number 8, and I won't talk about this too much, is that I want to call my mom more often and be in touch with her. I realized after I didn't make a vlog about going to Thane. I really wanted to, but I guess now it's been so long that I just might not. Today marks a month since I came back from Thane. Time is fucking flying so fast. I don't even know where the time is going. Makes me sad, but also kind of makes me happy because I guess every month that passes by is a month closer to lockdown ending. if we can hope for it to ever end, it will. At some point, it has to. Even if it's, I don't know, I hate to say it, but even if it's 2 years in the future, it has to at some point. So yeah, I want to call my mom and be more in touch with her because I had a really great 2 weeks with her in Thane because we were at home the whole day, so we were kind of spending all our time together. It wasn't divided. Like, it wasn't like she was going to work and only spending the evenings with me. It was pure quality time, and we did so many things together. We were cleaning together, we were cooking a lot together. I was helping her with the dishes, I was helping her with cleaning the house, I was helping her with cooking. I was basically trying my best to be the kind of daughter that I've never been all this time. And it feels like our relationship has finally come to a level where we're not affectionate or we're not verbal about our emotions, and at this point it's fine because we've still made progress in how we communicate with, not even communicate, just how we be with each other. We're not, before when I lived there, we would fight every single day. No exaggeration. We would literally fight every single day. I did not like being around her. I did not like when she came home. It was just, I feel so uncomfortable the whole time with her being around because she used to always nag me and annoy me and always simply hang out in my room when I didn't want her to come. And every time we even tried to talk, and she started telling me about her day, in 2 minutes I would lose interest and she'd be like, "You're not even listening." And then I'd feel bad even though I wanted to listen. I honestly, I didn't care. And I felt guilty about it, but I couldn't change that. I couldn't change the fact that I didn't care about her. But now I really do. And I was really afraid that I would miss her a lot after I came back here. And then I realized that I didn't miss her after I came back. Like, I didn't even cry. And I really thought I was going to be miserable and shit. I was expecting the worst. But then after I came back here, I realized that I've been able to compartmentalize my two lives really well. My Thane life, as soon as I left Thane, my Thane life was behind me, and now I was in my Bandra life, in my Bandra routine and Bandra way of doing things, and I didn't think about Thane that much. Which also made me feel a bit guilty because how can I not miss my own mother when I spent the last 2 weeks with her and I loved it? How can I come here and suddenly be okay with her not being around? I won't lie, it felt a little odd and it was a little strange, but it definitely wasn't sad. I feel like there are so many things that just keep me occupied here, keep me busy. I have my mind is on a lot of different things that I don't think about her that much, and it's a bit sad. Like, as it was like the minute I reached Bandra, I stopped thinking about my mom completely. Because she doesn't figure in my routine, so there's no space for me to miss her. So yeah, I need to actively, consciously make time for her, to call her up, video call her, ask her how she's doing, ensure that she uses her time well because she's now basically a retired old woman with nothing to do. There's no kind of recreational activity she can do in Karjat, especially on lockdown. She's at home the whole day. So I need to call her, I need to ensure that she's watching movies if she can. There's no TV, so she's doing it on her phone. I installed all these apps before I left Thane on her phone. I took subscriptions for whatever was needed for her. I've sent her all the passwords, everything. I even showed her how to use the apps. So I'm gonna, excuse me, make sure she's doing that and she's not just lazing at home, or not just spending all her time serving my dad, cooking and cleaning and doing all of that shit that he doesn't help with. Sure, I mean, she needs to, and I can't fight that because he's never going to contribute to that part of her life. But I want her to make time for herself. I want her to start exercising again. I bought her new sport shoes as well because she didn't have sport shoes, so that she can exercise at home. So, and I've shown her all the workout videos that are good for her body, an old person's body. And she was even doing that when I was used to work out. Even she had started working out for some time. Then it all went out the window. So I'm gonna try to make her get back to doing that. And I do feel guilty about not missing her. It's almost bizarre to think that I don't miss her at all and we don't talk at all anymore. Even when she texts me, and she's been trying, I feel bad. It's been a month now, so she tried back then, like 2-3 weeks ago, to text me and stay in touch. And I hate texting people to stay in touch. So I just ignore her messages and I feel so bad. It's just weird. I don't know. I don't want to tell myself that it's impossible to stay in touch. when you're not in the same house. It's not impossible. You just have to try really hard. You have to try really hard. It's so tempting to lose touch with people and not confront them and not have conversations and not communicate with people and just surround yourself with only three of your most important friends and then everything else can go to hell. But that can't be it. So many friends that I haven't stayed in touch with over lockdown. So many. And some of them have even tried to be in touch with me and I've just not reciprocated. Even though I really like them. I don't know, if I had to make a list of these people, it would be really long and that's really scary. But yeah, maybe along with my mom, I also need to kind of focus on, I don't know, just sending a voice note to somebody and tell them I'm here and how are they and, you know, just stay in touch and that I'm trying my best and to not be mad at me that I'm not in touch with them. I don't want to lose friends over something as silly as this. So yeah, I'm gonna try to stay in touch with my mom. I guess that's part of not living at home and living outside. You have to be okay with not being able to have that same kind of relationship with your family members anymore. It's impossible to continue that kind of relationship, especially if you don't have that relationship. You know, if you're not already close to your mom, then I don't know. I do feel like our relationship has improved, and distance is good for us. We're not. I don't think we get along living together, especially when it's not lockdown. Lockdown pay anyway. We are at home the whole time, so they can't control what I'm doing. They can't tell me to come home early because I'm not going anywhere. They can't tell me not to smoke because I mean, on lockdown anyway I wasn't smoking. But they can't tell me what to do anymore. So that's why lockdown may staying with them was fine, but on a normal daily basis where I have to go to work, where I want to meet my friends, where I want to live my life, where I want to stay out 5 days a week if I want to, I can't do that living with them. So distance has really improved our relationship. Me having my autonomy and her not having a say in my life has helped. It's taken away all the fights and it's only left behind us. So, like I said, so that was my list of 8 things to do. I could have thought of more, and if I sat down to think of more, oh, I can think of plenty. I even thought I'm gonna start reading books and shit, but I'm not putting that on the list. I'm not aiming for too much this month because aiming for too much always leads to disappointment because then you've not achieved half the things you wanted to do. With this list, I made it easy so that it's easier to achieve everything, and the next month we'll aim for higher. But the miscellaneous stuff on my list was read more articles or books. That it's miscellaneous. It's not a point. It's just a bracket. It's just a PS. So if it doesn't happen, no harm done. And the last one is embroidery, without the machine, of course. I want to start hand embroidering just to see if that's something that actually excites me, and it's not just a impulsive thought, ki, oh, I want to do all this. I need to live up to my word, and my mouth really hurts. How did people talk all the time before lockdown? My mouth really hurts. I don't want to continue the vlog anymore. Basically, embroidery, I'm gonna start hand embroidering stuff, just like usual clothes and shit. See if that's actually something that catches my fancy and that I actually see myself doing long term enough to want to invest in a fucking sewing machine and stuff. Not only a sewing machine, expensive, it also occupies a lot of space. And I do not have space in the house. I'm very aware of that. So yeah. Those are two miscellaneous items. I think that's it. Now I should go to bed because it's way past my bedtime and I want to stick to my goals. So thanks for watching this extremely long video of my goals. I'll try to come in and weekly give updates on how my week has been going because I think only that will keep me accountable, telling someone how my week has gone. I won't do it daily, obviously, that'll be so fucking annoying. I'll do it weekly. Anyway, like I told you, I have my calendar, right? So in my calendar, I will be making a note of how every day I'll be putting in a sign about whether I'll show you my calendar tomorrow. Actually, otherwise you won't understand what I'm saying. I have a symbol for exercise. I have a symbol for movies. I have a symbol for no smoking. Sorry, I have a symbol for smoking. I have a symbol for eating clean. Is there anything else I can make? No spend 1 month. Okay. I can make a symbol for no spending, like maybe your dollar sign or something. So every day I don't spend on an unnecessary item, I earn a star. So when I see visual representation of something, it's more motivating. So rather than rather than putting a star only when I do spend on something, it will motivate me to get a star every day that I don't spend something. So I'm gonna invent a symbol tomorrow for that. But there's nothing else I can invent. Sleep on time maybe. Yeah, maybe I'll invent one for sleeping on time. And I'll keep marking. Yeah, I mean, I haven't put no smoking on this list either because I've managed to somehow stay consistent with my not smoking thing, and I plan to do that, continue that. Though in September I did smoke a little more than usual because my usual Siggy guy was back and he hasn't hiked his prices as much, just like 20-30 rupees more. So I bought a pack of ciggies from him, and every time I walk by the lane, we say hi to each other, and he tells me to come because he tells me like hey, because my one and only is not found all the time, and even he doesn't have it all the time. So whenever I walk by and he does have it, he calls me. So sometimes I do go and then I get tempted by it, but yeah, I haven't smoked that much. I've only smoked one box in the entire month of September, which according to Eden standards pre-lockdown is really fucking good. I would finish one box in like 3-4 days otherwise. So yeah, I'm gonna continue that. I didn't smoke today. I'm not going on an entire no smoking month because, like I said, I don't want this to be extra pressure. Though I think if I tried, it wouldn't be that difficult. But yeah, baby steps, baby steps, baby steps. I will not smoke. I'm trying to, yeah, quit that lifestyle completely. I know it won't be possible forever, but even 5 months not smoking does count. It's not like exercise, it's not like you work out for 3 months and you don't work out for 5 months and you lose all that progress. And then you have to start from scratch because you put on all the weight again. But with smoking, it's not like that. 5 months of not smoking means your lungs have improved a little bit and are trying to heal again. So it does count. A break does count. Even if you go back later, the break does count. So that's enough. My mouth hurts.